Hello. I know I called it Secrets of the Church, but let me say it from the beginning that they're not secrets. I'm sure most of you have been to or at least seen St. John's Church. Overall, it's not unfair to say that this is one of the more well known heritage buildings in the city. Before St. Paul's Cathedral, it was St. John's Church that was the principal cathedral in the city. Built in 1787, this gorgeous stone built structure was likened to St. Martin in the Fields in London. Even though it's an active church today, walking into the grounds almost feels like walking into a time machine. The streets suddenly go quieter and you're left in awe of what you're seeing in front of you. Now, to the secrets. Before we go inside, there's actually a lot to see outside. The church grounds are home to many burials, tombstones, graves, and obelisks, as it was an active church cemetery back in the day, some of them belonging to eminent members of society. However, none are more famous than this one. Down in a now locked corner of the churchyard is Job Charnock's tomb. The controversial story of how he founded Calcutta must be known to many of you, so that's something I'm not going to talk about right now. Instead, I'm going to look at this beautiful tomb, which, considering was built in 1693, is one of the oldest British buildings in the city. Constructed by his son-in-law Charles Eyre, yes, the same old Fort William one, and made of a type of rock named after the founder himself, Charnockite. This Moroccan-style mausoleum also contains the graves of his other family members. Moving to the west end of the churchyard lies perhaps a controversial secret. Well, this will be a tough one. In 1756, Shiraj ud-Dawla, angered by constant fortification at Fort William, basically lashed out hard and ordered a siege of Calcutta. In the whole milieu, one thing led to another, and his army ended up imprisoning some 150 people in a dingy dungeon at the old Fort William overnight. Needless to say, it did not go well. 123 of them died, and that was reason enough to retaliate hard against the Nawab. Except we're not really sure that happened. Historians over the years have hotly debated the actual incidents that could have happened, a majority of which posit that it never happened and was massively exaggerated by the British folk. Since I'm not here to take a stand, I will cease to speak more and instead show you what I have here. In 1902, Lord Curzon showed up and was surprised when he did not see a monument commemorating the whole Black Hole of Calcutta incident. So he built one. Although it used to be in front of the writers' building and was built by another person, let's not have a conversation about that. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose moved it here in 1940, and this is where you can see it. Now on to the next one, and for this we need to walk inside. Aside from James Kirkpatrick's memorial, the White Mughal immortalized by his heir William Dalrymple's eponymous novel, there's another one of his ancestors that are very noteworthy. These are Dalrymple's own words. Quote, James Pattle was known as the greatest liar in India, a man supposed to be so wicked that the devil wouldn't let him leave India after he died. Pattle left instructions that when he died, his body should be shipped back to Britain. So after his demise in 1845, they pickled the body in rum, as was the way of transporting bodies back then. The coffin was placed in the cabin of Pattle's wife, and the ship set sail from Garden Reach. In the middle of the night, the corpse broke through the coffin and sat up. The wife had a heart attack and died. Now both bodies had to be preserved in rum, but the casks reeked of alcohol, and the sailors bored holes through the sides of the coffins and drank the rum. And of course got drunk, and the ship hit a sandbank and the whole thing exploded, cremating Pattle and his wife in the middle of the Hooghly. That's why you see a plaque on the wall and not a grave in the graveyard of my great-great-grandfather. Unquote. Interesting. If I told you that our humble city of Calcutta is home to one of the most famous works of German neoclassical painters Johann Zoffany, you would probably Believe me, because this bit is fairly known. Though not an exact replica of Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper, this is quite unique on its own. Some of the characters in the painting controversially depicting very real life characters in the then social strata of the city, especially and problematically depicting auctioneer William Tullow as Judas, who basically went ham and sword. Thanks to God and whoever else is responsible, the painting has been recently restored to its former glory. So, these were all my secrets of St. John's Church, which I absolutely expected each and every one of you to know. But it's a fun video to have made anyway. While I'm here, I must mention that the festive season of 2022 is in full swing, which includes the epic coverage of the upcoming Kali Pujo. So, if that's something that interests you, be sure to subscribe. Until next time.